NCAA tournament in Phoenix, Arizona for the Sweet 16. It's a matchup of the Big East and the Big Ten. The 4th-seeded Louisville Cardinals against the #1 seeded Michigan State Spartans, with the winner going to the Elite Eight. Moments ago, Louisville head coach Rick Pitino, for the first time on TV, speaking to his team before the game.
You need to understand that the first moment you leave the locker room, somebody grabs you and says, I've never seen you as a person or as a team work as hard as you did tonight. You do that, you're one game away from the Final Four.
And some terrific stuff. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside Lenny Elmore and Reggie Miller. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What are your headlines for the Spartans tonight?
Well, Michigan State, outstanding rebounding team. Also top 3 in the nation in field goal percentage defense. This is a team that needs to dominate the paint on both ends.
Well, because of that stingy defense of Michigan State, it's important that Louisville use that pressure defense to create offense from their defense.
And how about players to watch tonight?
This game is tailor-made for Draymond Green. This is a guy who can average a triple-double because of his ability to shoot the basketball. We all know that 60 points a game, but he's going to have to be a better facilitator tonight because of the pressure of Louisville. Don't be surprised if he has one of those career triple-double games, the 4th of his career.
Well, Louisville's point guard, Peyton Siva, most outstanding player in the Big East tournament. This young man has matured in point guard decision-making. Certainly he can score, but his greatest value is making his teammates better.
It's the 4th-seeded Cardinals and the #1 seeded Spartans from the Valley of the Sun. Our tip-off is next. So the Michigan State head coach, a record of 29-7 for the Spartans. They take on Louisville. Peyton Siva is the main guy here, the Big East tournament most outstanding player. 6 consecutive wins for the Cards. And for the Spartans, everybody talks about Draymond Green, one of the premier players in all of college basketball, the Big Ten Player of the Year. Our officials tonight, Patrick Driscoll, who last season officiated the Final Four. Mike Littlewood and Antonio Petty. He also is a part of that Final Four officiating crew a season ago. Glad to have you aboard the Sweet 16 from Phoenix. And here come the Spartans with the first possession.
Real important. Zayne is going to have to stay out of foul trouble against Payne and Nix of Michigan State. They're going to need his shot blocking ability throughout this game.
We'll take a look at Louisville in their kind of matchup zone. A lot of man-to-man principles there.
That front line of Michigan State is going to be an interesting chore for the Cardinals tonight.
Yeah, they're terrific closing off that lane, and they've got to be able to contest shots as they did right there.
And they got to make sure that Siva does not get in the paint.
Pretty good open look right there for Siva right there. They were forcing them down to the baseline.
Green with the miss. Cardinals finishing 7th in the Big East, but won 4 games in 4 days at Madison Square Garden to capture the Big East postseason tournament. And they come in as the tournament champions, the #4 seed. They have defeated Davidson by 7 and took care of New Mexico, the 5th seed last week, 59-56. Siva with a 3, Payne with the Michigan State rebound.
Yeah, Michigan State's man-to-man. They're inviting Louisville to take the 3 right now as they sag.
That was a pretty good wall that they formed with Appling and Payne against Siva. Because you're right, they're going to allow Siva. If he can make that outside shot, they'll live with it.
All eyes on Appling going up against this chaotic defense of Louisville. Here is Thornton. He puts up a 3, and that's a terrific shot for him. Over the last 14 games, the senior Austin Thornton has shot over 53% from three-point territory.
That's right, on the season, 47%. So, you know, that's no anomaly. This young man can shoot the ball from beyond the arc. And again, we talk about Louisville and the Spartans sagging, allowing them to take that 3. Louisville only 31% on the season from beyond the arc.
Corby Jang inside with a shot over Payne. The fight for the rebound picked up by the top rebounder in the Big Ten Conference, and that is Draymond Green, the senior from Saginaw, Michigan, for the Spartans.
Look at this Cards defense right now. It looks like his zone. It's a matchup man. Everyone has principles.
Green over Siva had the mismatch, and the rebound collected by Shane Bohannon, his 2nd rebound.
Yeah, Draymond Green is going to have to square up and shoot that ball, because you're right, it definitely is a mismatch at the top if Siva's going to guard him. And Draymond Green, excellent from that elbow.
Here's Chris Smith, who's a senior from Millstone, New Jersey. Appling will be on in. Appling, a terrific defender. In fact, probably right in back of Aaron Kraft of Ohio State. A screen by Zhang, a drive by Siva. It's Curritt for three, and a rebound by Green. And Louisville has started the game 0-4.
So what's been fantastic has been Adrian Payne in these pick and rolls. He's been so active defensively.
And the ball flying out. So Michigan State comes in, beating LIU Brooklyn 89-67. They beat St. Louis 65-61. You see the record and a terrific RPI of 2.
Well, we talk about Michigan State's defense, but their offense has really come alive in this tournament. Shooting 57% from the field, averaging about 76 points a game.
Michigan State finishing a three-way tie for the Big Ten regular season championship with Ohio State and with the University of Michigan. The Spartans have won it 3 of the last 4 years. Inside, Draymond Green with the shot clock, or make it Nix who comes in the contest. The shot clock is down to 3. A shove and a Louisville foul. And 3 seconds on that shot clock. It goes on Bohannon for the first time.
Yeah, if you're Rick Pitino, that's something you definitely don't want with the shot clock running down. Right now, you got to play solid defense. Bohannon just got his hand caught in there on the ball.
So they take out Payne, they bring in Nix, and he has a big body inside, part of that large front line of the Spartans. And Thornton's got the ball. Here's Appling, who is a sophomore. He made the transition this season from the wing to a point guard. They go inside Nix with the rebound by Zhang.
I see what Coach Izzo is trying to do. Force feed Payne, force feed Nix down low to try to go out at Zhang a little bit to get him in foul trouble.
Well, that's what I said at the beginning of the telecast. Look for them to really dominate that paint. That's where the strength of the Michigan State Spartans is.
Siva had 3 around him. A turnover right there. Here comes Appling with Nix serving as a blocking guard. And here is Green outside.
Boy, Green's been off on a number of those jump shots.
Second shot that he hasn't even hit rim, Lynn.
Green has started 0 of 3. Here is Chris Smith. Thornton is defending. That is a 3, and that is good. Put in by Chris Smith, who averages 10 points a game, one of the top 3-point shooters in the Big East.
Yeah, that was a double high pick and roll with Smith, able to create a little bit of separation because of that second high pick and roll.
Green, who is one of the top assist men on this team. There's a nice little 19-footer that he finds the net.
I think he heard you, Reggie. Hadn't drawn iron in his previous 3 shots, but that was right on the money. Square it up, took his time.
Yeah, he's going to have that shot all game, too, because with those guards up top of Steven Smith, he can just shoot over them.
5 minutes gone here in this first game in the Sweet 16 for the West region out of the hands of Green. 14:57 to play. Outside, Draymond Green, the top scorer and the Big Ten's #1 rebounder, finding it.
Blocks. He was 8th in the nation in shot blocking. He's the anchor of that scrambling defense. Got to make sure that he stays in the game because he can erase a lot of mistakes out on the perimeter.
Yeah, 4th in the Big East in rebounding. You talked about those blocks, 3 a game, and Louisville's really only low post threat.
Outside Curritt from Siva. That is a 3. Zhang going in there. Nix grabs the ball. Travis Trice has just checked in for the Spartans of Michigan State.
And thus far, Michigan State playing outstanding defense. They've challenged every perimeter shot that Louisville has taken thus far. Hand in the face on each one.
And we know that Michigan State has the 3rd best field goal defensive percentage in all of college basketball. Only outdone by Louisville, which is #2. This is a wood 3. As both teams are shooting well under 30% so far.
And then Louisville's doing a great job of contesting all the shots by Michigan State. Both of these teams are, this is going to be a chess match tonight. And who does all the little things, to me, is going to be the team that walks out of here with a victory.
Yeah, the team that can get some penetration in the paint and create something for guys to get them open looks is the team that ultimately will prevail.
And who can get to the free throw line and get some easy ones at the stripe.
Curritt outside, shot clock at 4. Here comes Gorgie Zhang working on Nix. Rebound gobbled up by Bohannon. Fighting for the rebound with Green. Out of bounds it goes. Louisville will have it.
Boy, what a battle inside. Shane Bohannon by himself against 3 Spartans. And the freshman, big, strong, understands how to attack the offensive glass. Kept that one alive for another opportunity for Louisville.
Hannon has played well, the freshman from Cincinnati.
Second leading rebounder on this team. He's had 6 or more rebounds in 27 of 37 games this season. He's hungry going after the basketball and showed on the offensive end right there.
Oh, nice fake. This is Bohannon with a 3. Missing from outside. Here comes Trice. He has a bad right ankle, and he's been battling a groin injury for a while, so he comes in not completely 100%. Wood, Nix, Zhang defending. Outside. A 3 launched and missed on the wing. Brandon Kearney is in for the first time, a freshman from Detroit. Oh, nice. Move by Siva, and the rejection by Green.
Well, we talked about the need to penetrate since the post-ups are few and far between, and Peyton Siva pirouettes, but then you got the hammer coming in, and right there Draymond Green read that one all the way.
Well, it's all about protecting the paint, and that's exactly what Green does from the weak side. Yeah, you can make a nice move, but you got to be able to finish at the other end, and Green does a good job of making sure no go for Siva.
Wayne Blackshear has just checked in for Louisville. Also coming in with the ball right now is Russ Smith, a sophomore, with a slashing move, and down low they go.
Well, Rick Pitino told us yesterday Russ Smith is their best one-on-one player, and I think you're going to need some of that in order to create some opportunities for others.
Siva and Bohannon stay on the floor. Zhang continues to be in the middle. Smith on the fly. He is a fearless player. Picked up by Trice. Pickpocketed by Zhang, and they play a little twister on the floor as they go for it, and they tie it up with 12:28 to play here in the first half. And get the latest gear for your team at the official store of the NCAA. Find great hoops merchandise at ncaa.com/shop.
And hustle there by the 6'11" Zhang, getting on the floor there, creating that tie ball right there, with it going to the Cardinals.
Payne back on the floor for the Spartans. He and Nix will go back and forth. They do center by committee for Tom Izzo's Michigan State team. Russ Smith trying to drive and weave his way in. A lot of traffic, a lot of size. Thornton with the rebound.
And you've got Green rejecting Peyton Siva, and then you've got Payne on the backside against Russ Smith. It's all about the bigs early on in this first half for the Spartans defensively.
Louisville is 1 of 13. Michigan State is 2 of 9.
Well, we said it would be a defensive battle, 2 of the top defensive teams in the country. No surprise.
We have a shove and a foul called. As you can see our score, 5-3. 16 as we bring in the fourth member of our crew, Marty Snyder.
Well, coaching against Rick Pitino, a lot of talk has been brought up this week about how close Tom Izzo came to actually taking the Cleveland Cavaliers job just a couple of years ago. After all, he sought Pitino's advice openly about whether or not he should take the job, but it was a family meeting that sealed the deal for him. His wife was on board. His son Steven said, well, Dad, if I get to play with LeBron, I definitely want to go. They didn't know if LeBron would be there or not, but it was his daughter, Rachel, they call her Rocky, at 14 years old, who said, Dad, if we go to Cleveland, people will like me for you. If we go to East Lansing and we stay here, people will like me for me. And that was all Tom Izzo needed to hear, and that's why he stayed at Michigan State, Kev.
Good stuff, Marty. Raquel Izzo is her name. They call her Rocky, and Pitino was much of a guy. There's a nice knock away inside by Zhang. That's a block shot by him, his first. There was no foul at the end of play before as we went to that break. And we've got a team that is coached by Izzo, the Big Ten Coach of the Year. He is 7-2 in Sweet 16 games. How about Rick Pitino? 9-0 as Green with the second left on the shot clock can't hit the 3. But Rick Pitino is 9-0 in Sweet 16 games.
Well, to your point, Kevin, both of these coaches very well versed at preparation, and they've had 5 days to prepare for this game, so they know every nuance of the opposition, and their records reflect how adept they are at preparing.
Well, Smith inside, Zhang is the one to get it, and that was one of the reasons why Pitino told Izzo not to go to the NBA, was because they love to teach, and there is not a lot of teaching in the pros.
We see the full court pressure right now in Louisville after a make. They haven't had an opportunity. It's only the second make from the field.
But how about Russ Smith trying to break down the middle of that Michigan State? Got the shot blocked, but it went right to Zhang for the finish.
Well, that's what we said. You got both teams have to find a way to penetrate the lane.
Payne, Ackling, Green. Payne gets the hockey assist. Inside, a flush by Draymond Green.
That's like the other play for Louisville. If you can get into the middle of both of these defenses and collapse them, because both of them are good help defending teams, you can have success at the rim.
Russ Smith, Swapshire in for the first time. Screen by Zayne, sets a lot of them right around that circle. Siva, Appling will tail him. Russ Smith with a three. And picked up by Swapshire, who has really been almost indispensable lately for this ball club. Russ Smith with a three. He puts it down.
And that's a walk by Appling. Good pressure there by Russ Smith there after the three to sneak up behind Appling and force that turnover.
Well, right now, both defenses starting to loosen up a little bit. Offensive rebound for Louisville, second chance opportunity. Russ Smith nails it. And on the prior possession of Michigan State, penetration.
Appling checks out. Brandon Wood is back in the contest. Thornton out there. They got Payne and Draymond Green down low. This remains the point. Under 10 to play here in the first half.
See if Peyton Siva coming off these screens can try to get into the lane, a lot like what Russ Smith is doing.
Swapshire, he'll put up a three. Knocking it down. This is the biggest lead for the Louisville Cardinals.
Jared Swapshire, that's only the fourth three-pointer he's made all season and 21 chances.
During this postseason, he's been terrific. Wood will put up a triple. Payne gathers in the loose ball. In there fighting with him is Zhang. 9:21 to play here in the first half. The foul goes on Blackshear, the freshman from Chicago, picking up his first personal foul. And at the free throw line will be Adrian Zayne, who is a sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. And kind of a slow start to his career as a sophomore. And what they found after doing some medical research on the kid is he's got a lung capacity issue. He has smaller lungs than someone his size should have. So he's had to learn to breathe in a different way.
And that's why they monitor the minutes here for Michigan State. And that's why you'll see a lot of Knicks tonight. They split time at that center position. But at his frame and what he does, especially playing alongside Draymond Green, which allows Green to flow a little bit more because of Payne's ability to block shots and change defenses and defending because of his length.
Fatigue was a factor with him. Keurig and Swapshire, Siva with the ball. Russ Smith remains in Zhang. That is the Cardinal 5, approaching 9 to play in the first half. Thornton now pushing out Russ Smith. Another three. Good!
We talked about his one-on-one prowess. And against a defense like Michigan State, you've got to be able to have a guy that can isolate one-on-one and make some shots. That'll loosen up the D.
Russ Smith has got the stroke coming off the Patino bench.
Now, Smith was the one who had 30 points in that loss at Kentucky.
Appling is back in there. Payne trying to free himself from Zhang. Setting a screen, Appling on the move, and a foul called. Siva was in there defending. 8:36 to play in the first half. And Peyton Siva, the junior from Seattle, picks up his first personal foul.
Nice move there by Appling. When you got the crossover and you got the guy trailing, just a subtle head and shoulder fake to get Siva in the air. You feel the contact, continue to go up with the shot.
So here's Appling at the stripe. He is averaging 14 points a game in the 2 NCAA games he has played so far. And TNT this summer, the end is just the beginning from TNT and DreamWorks Television. Falling Skies. For the latest on the new season, like us on Facebook. Payne will check out. Nix is back in there. A lot of people think he's the Big Ten Six-Man Award winner. There were some other great six men in that conference, which might have been the premier conference, the Big Ten, and all of college basketball.
Well, that was the consensus. Again, competitive within, certainly doing a nice job outside and playing folks outside of the conference. And top to bottom, again, you take a look at the individual talent. Draymond Green, obviously, player of the year in that conference because of his versatility and production.
Chris Smith is in now. Russ Smith remains. Keurig is working on the baseline. Swapshire's on the wing.
Fans here wanted a walk there on Smith.
Russ Smith, partially deflected, picked up by Green. He's now collected 3. Appling weaving his way the other way. Green, Nix. Swapshire comes up with it, and here they go.
Boy, Knicks had to be ready for that one. Draymond Green, a hard charge into the paint. And good delivery. Knicks just wasn't ready.
Zhang with a screen. Knicks now comes out on him. Louisville is 5 of 19.
I tell you what, the bigs of Michigan State are doing such a great job of showing on these pick and rolls, making it very difficult for the Louisville guards to really get into the paint. They found ways to get in there, but give a lot of credit to Nix and Payne while they're on the floor.
Chris Smith and Russ Smith. Swapshire with the screen. Dirk is outside waiting to fire. That goes right to the legs of Brody Zhang, and here comes Green the other way. That was knocked away by the one-arm Zhang. Nice move and a turnover. Approaching 7 to play here in the first half.
Yeah, Green and that basketball IQ he has to understand that someone is right behind him on that fast break.
Well, about a month ago, many people thought that Louisville would not be here in this position, but here they are. NCAA.
Yeah, early in the season, they began 12-0, and then they hit a stretch where they went 2-5, and people said, okay, what's wrong with Louisville? But, you know, they picked it up and ultimately won the Big East championship.
Chris Smith has hit a three-point shot. He's knocked down 2. He's got 6. And 6.5 to play in the first half.
Louisville coming into the season, they were showing shooting at 31% from long distance, already 5 of 11 in this first half.
And they're plus 15 points beyond the arc is Louisville tonight over Michigan State. Knicks up high. Appling with it after a Knicks screen.
And that's how they picked it up after having that fourth instance where they were 2-5, playing good defense and getting timely scoring.
Travis Trice is a freshman who's got the ball. Thornton became a starter midway through the season, setting a screen. Wood, a transfer from Valparaiso into Knicks against Brody Zhang. And picked up inside by Kyle Curran. Right now, Michigan State has not hit from the field in almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's the fear factor of Zhang down low. Nix and Payne are hesitating.
Oh, a rejection by Nix inside. That's the first knockaway for him. Both teams stressing defense, poor shooting so far, but we've seen a couple of knockaways like that as Louisville is on a 12-4 run. There is not a lot going on inside the lane for either team.
Yeah, both teams doing a good job of shutting off the paint. Both Louisville and Michigan State only have 2 points apiece inside the paint. But Louisville making the adjustment by finding opportunities around the perimeter, 5 of 11 from beyond the arc.
All we've been talking about is the size of Michigan State, but yet it's been the smaller and more aggressive Louisville on the boards. They're a +6 in total rebounds, a +5 in offensive rebounds.
Current Chris Smith, Siebert with the ball, Zhang on top. And they go inside. Shot clock is at 9. Chris Smith had it knocked away. And vacuumed in by Brandon Wood. Appling to Nix. What a great feed. First 2 for Nix.
And therein lies the key. You got to get some penetration off the bounce to force the defenses to adjust. And then you find the open man, and that was about as quick as it comes.
Appling's got 3 quick assists so far for the Spartans.
Not only penetration, Lynn, but I like early transition before the defense can set up.
Bohannon, Siva, who is 0 of 3, and Zhang is inside. Nix punches it away. Wood comes up with a 2-on-1. Trice. Oh, to Wood. What a pass.
That's textbook 2-on-1 by Trice and Wood. In the open court, you make the defender guard you.
That's a pass Magic Johnson thoroughly enjoyed.
Getting opportunities and the quick penetration and delivery to Nix, getting into the paint. And here, behind the back, sometimes it's necessary, not necessarily showtime, but terrific delivery right there for the bucket.
Tom Izzo told us yesterday, Reggie, that we can play anyway, fast or slow or in between. We can grind it out, or we can play a speed game if we need to.
Well, that's what we were talking about. It's all about adjustments between these two legendary head coaches in Pitino and Izzo. They can play on the fly. It doesn't matter what kind of offensive defense you're going to run against them. They've got a game plan for everything.
Adrian Zayne is back in there, trying to keep a close eye on Zhang, and the shot clock is at 6. Siva, Zhang finds some breathing space and knocks down a triple. That's a 3. He's got 5.
Well, I think that's a prerequisite. If you're going to play for Rick Pitino, I don't care if you're 6'11", you've got to be able to draw the defense by knocking down three-point shots.
That's the first of the season for Gorgie Zhang. He's 1 for 2. It couldn't come at a better time.
Appling slides it inside to Green. Payne coming in there. Ball knocked away, and a shove and a foul. And it goes on Payne for Michigan State. It's the first on him. Here's the big man outside, finding some space and knocking it in.
You back to Kevin, Len, and Reggie.
Joseph, the leading scorer for the Orange. Thank you very much. A school record number of wins for Syracuse coming out of Pittsburgh and going to Boston for the Sweet 16. 3.5 to play here. Here comes Siva, who's been very quiet so far. Chris Smith is picked up by Brandon Wood. And a 3 right there by Smith.
Well, Siva's been very quiet because at the top, you can see trying to use the high screen. Michigan State doing a nice job of bottling him, not allowing him to turn the corner, getting terrific help from the guy guarding the screener.
Shane Bohannon just picked up his second personal foul for Louisville.
Yeah, that's huge for Pitino. Now you see Swapshire coming. This is the guy that's so active on the offensive glass for Louisville. I think he's pretty much done for this half with just a little over 3 minutes left.
Here comes Keith Appling. One of the big stories in both East Lansing and Louisville was how the chaotic defense, and that is a foul right there, how the chaotic defense of Pitino would work on this point guard, a sophomore for Izzo Spartans. Coming up on the AT&T at the half, Drake Gumbo, Greg Anthony, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley will take you out for a live look at Wisconsin-Syracuse. That's the Sweet 16 game now going on CBS as we just saw. Plus the latest NCAA tournament news all coming up on the AT&T at the half.
Kevin, going back to your point about Keith Appling, remember, he's a converted point guard. He originally came in as a shooter, but out of necessity had to play the point. And his reaction to this kind of pressure is probably different than Tom Izzo wanted. He's got to be able to settle down.
Transition came this year. Siva, Swapshire, all kinds of traffic. Payne along with Green were right there. Green grabs the rebound. He's got 4. Appling the other way. Green with the 3. Draymond Green's got 7 for the Spartans.
How huge is that to have your bigs trailing the play in that slow, fast break with Green being able to stretch the floor, knocking down that 3.
Outside, that's a jump shot, no good by Chris Smith, and picked up by Chris, goes up once again. Rebound is inhaled for a 5th time, picked up by Draymond Green.
Yeah, Michigan State now closing the rebound gap, eliminating the second chance opportunity.
Payne bulldozing his way in, called for the offensive foul. That's the second on Adrian Payne.
We're talking about Green in transition as being that trail big for the Spartans. Just really walks into that 3. And how about Zhang? This is straight Jenga right there on Payne, taking it in the chest.
Wood will sit, as will Payne. Coming in Nix, coming in Trice for the Spartans. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Watch here. Little move on Thornton, and down the lane he goes. Nix is there to grab the loose ball.
Nice move, but he lost the handle on it. But again, at least mentally, he's focused on trying to get the ball in the paint and not trying to settle for the jump shots. That's when Louisville has been most effective. Getting it in the paint and maybe kicking it out for open 3.
Appling behind the back, knocked away by Zhang inside. He's playing handball with these shots, and here comes Siva the other way. Looking for the open man, ricochets out of bounds. It will be off of Louisville.
Zhang has been unbelievable in this first half defensively for the Cards. He blocks that with his elbow.
Could have done it with his armpit. That ball never really gotten out of the hands of Appling.
Right over on CBS, Syracuse, Wisconsin going on right now as we close out our first half here in Phoenix. in this game. Louisville is led by as many as 6. Trice with a 3. Rebound by Zayne. That's his second. Michigan State is led by a slim margin of 3 points earlier in a game that's had 2 ties and a single lead change. And Russ Smith driving in, working on the freshman from Huber, Ohio, Travis Trice. A foul, the first on him.
Well, we talk about the versatility of Draymond Green, Big Ten Player of the Year. Yes, the big fella can shoot it from beyond the arc. Yes, he can rise and finish. And you can deploy him at so many different spots and get production out of him. And on the other end, rebounding and playing defense, you just can't count all the superlatives that you have to use in describing Draymond Green's play.
Siva on the fly, 0 of 4. Another rebound, pulled down. He's got 6 now. Draymond Green.
Both of these teams are combined 13 for 49 in this first half. We knew it was going to be a defensive struggle, but this is real ugly basketball offensively.
Well, that's coming from an offensive star, man. From a defensive player, I see a lot of positives out there. It's a beauty.
Different perspective altogether. Izzo drawing up a play in late first half.
Look for Michigan State to try to get the ball to Draymond Green, a high post where he's the best facilitator that they have.
And the reason why chemistry is so good is because you have a coach on the floor in Draymond Green.
Difference of 8 seconds. Game clock and shot clock winding down the first. Green for the lead. Rebound by Siva.
That was too quick. I thought they would run the clock down to the last possession.
Louisville's up by 2. Here they go now. Swapshire with a 3. Good! Swapshire hits again off the benches. Second 3-point hit. He's got 6. And the 4 seed Cardinals on top. 23-18 over the number 1 seed Michigan State Spartans.
Boy, what a momentum builder. Michigan State takes a quick shot and allows more time for Louisville to come down and get the last shot. And Jared Swapshire, not known to be a 3-point shooter, just now 5 of 22. But he was dead on that one.
Let's swing it over to Marty Snyder.
Well, Rick, what changes did they make to get back into it?
Well, this is the second. We're tied for second, both of us, with field goal defense.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving, but we're doing a sensational job on the backboard. If our 2 goals coming into is stop the 3, stop the backboard, don't turn it over. We turned it over a couple times and they got in transition. So you got 2 great defensive teams not bending. Jared Swapshire gave us a big lift. And Gorky Zhang, we've been practicing all season, going to him for the 3-point shot.
And he's certainly done well. He finally made that first one. If they've been practicing all season, Kevin, he finally came through.
He's a finalist for the Hall of Fame, Rick Pitino. That's the end of the first half. You see our score. Now let's go to our Atlanta studios.
You know, the threes bothers me, but a couple of those guys, if they're going to hit them, we're probably going to lose because that's the way we're going to play it.
Thanks, Tom.
Right now, let's take a look behind the stats presented by LG. Some of the individual players for both the Spartans and the Cardinals.
I agree with Coach Izzo. You got to play percentages coming into the game. Louisville was only shooting 31% from long distance with a couple of guys that aren't accustomed to knocking down shots from long distance. You got to stay with your principles and play with things the same way.
That's a big 3-point shot made by sophomore Keith Appling.
Well, what's significant about the first half is that 3 of Louisville's starters, Cork, Bohannon, and Siva, have gone scoreless. We talked about Siva's ability to score, but his greater value is making others better. He does have 5 assists.
Got 18 points for Michigan State at halftime, the low in any Tom Izzo coached NCAA tournament game at the half. And so they look to build upon that. We're just into the second half here in Phoenix. And squeezing the trigger and putting it up and in. Freshman Shane Bohannon. He's got his first 2.
And it all came about because of Peyton Siva's ability to penetrate. Take a look, the drive on the baseline, and then dishes a nice bounce pass to Bohannon, who's waiting on the opposite end. And Bohannon now has 2 points. As I said, 3 starters are scoreless. Bohannon's getting off the mark right now.
Thornton picks up his first foul for the Spartans.
That's why it's not always comes down to scoring if you're Peyton Siva. Yeah, you're struggling offensively, but you got to be well-rounded and be able to do other things to help contribute to your team.
Well, that's 6 assists for Siva right now, so he is definitely making others better.
There's a pass And it came from Green, Bohannon the other way. Couric with a three, the top three-point shooter on this team, the leading scorer for the Cardinals. He has not scored. Wood driving inside, and that's a foul.
Fear factor because of Zayne. This is a guy that blocked 3 shots in that first half. You think he's going to come over and block this shot, but what he does, he just sticks his chest in there and takes the offensive foul and contact from Wood.
And you take a look at him stepping outside the restricted area as a secondary defender, getting himself set. Good anticipation by Gorgui Dieng.
Beautiful play there by Dieng.
Wood with his first personal foul. So Chris Smith and Siva in the backcourt. Couric with the ball right now. Bohannon and Gorgui Dieng, the 5 out there for the Cardinals. Wood and Payne and Green and Appling out there along with Austin Thornton for the Spartans to begin the second half. Dieng with the screen, Siva with the drive, scoreless so far, and they go back outside to Bohannon with the shot clock down to 5. Couric, great pace, and he finds his first 2 tonight.
Yeah, nice back door by Kyle Couric. He saw the lane open, and he made the cut. Bohannon did a nice job of exercising patience.
Yeah, don't be surprised by Bohannon's passing ability. He had 3 triple-doubles in high school at Bowling Green, Kentucky High School. So he's able to pass the basketball and handle it.
Gorgui Dieng with the rebound. He's got 3 for the Cardinals.
That time Payne playing with a little anxiety right there. Rushed his shot.
Siva in, snaps it outside. Chris Smith. Taking Siva for 3. Bohannon in there digging it out. All kinds of traffic and loosely picked up by Appling.
Well, sometimes if you're Bohannon, once you get in there, you got to gather yourself.
Good fake by Wood. There's a foul on Gorgui Dieng. He picks up the foul for the Louisville Cardinals, and that's the first.
Well, so far, Gorgui Dieng's been the man in the middle for Louisville. Led the Big East in blocks with 3 per game. Already has 2. And what a time in the first half to pick to make your first 3, not only of the season, but of his career.
Brandon Wood is at the free throw line. He became a starter when Brandon Dawson, who was a freshman, had a tear in the Big Ten tournament and is out for the season with the knees. Chris Smith checks out, and Russ Smith will check back in the game. First time they're in the second half for the Louisville Cardinals in their infrared uniforms.
Let's see if Russ Smith can give him that same type of production he gave in that first half. Thought he came off the bench and was fantastic. He was aggressive early, made some big threes.
And it was Russ Smith that really kind of softened up the Michigan State defense with his ability to go one-on-one.
Again, Siva is scoreless. He's been averaging 13 during the postseason. And it is thrown away. Wood with the steal. Slowing it up. Reloading that offense. Appling with it.
Nice decision by Wood to slow down, simply because the chasers from Louisville coming from behind have knocked a number of balls away.
Appling, 3rd team all Big Ten. Wood will launch the 3. Rebound is collected inside by Dieng. He's now got 4 rebounds for the Cardinals.
Whatever happened to good floor spacing and looking inside for Michigan State? They've gone away from that. That's been their strength.
Russ Smith for 3. Green trying to bring it down. A whistle with a foul. Looks like it's going to go on Louisville. It will. Dieng picks it up. And his second.
Talked about Russ Smith, the Archbishop Malloy, 2-time New York City Player of the Year. His ability to stretch the floor and knock down shots was huge in that first half for Louisville.
From Brooklyn at Archbishop Malloy High School, of course, in Queens, his coach, Jack Kern, who just completed his 54th season. He also coached another couple point guards you may have heard of, Kenny Anderson and Kenny the Jet Smith. And he had Rick Pitino one time at his camp as a player. That's how long he's been around. The kind of lives he has touched over the years.
Yeah, Coach Kern coached against us at Power Memorial when he was with Malloy. A couple of years, an outstanding rivalry. I won't say how long ago.
Well, you just dated yourself by saying that.
Appling launching the 3. Gotten the feed that time from Green. Another rebound is pulled down by Gorgui Dieng. And 4 minutes into the second half. Russ Smith with a nice hesitation. Into Bohannon. Shane Bohannon has put in 4, all in the second half.
And that's all Russ Smith with the hesitation. Looked like he was getting ready to go up for that shot at the corner of the free throw line. Got the defense to pop up.
Green finds Wood, and Wood can't find the rim. Shot clock will continue to tick. A whistle with 15:30 to play here in the second half. There is a foul on Russ Smith, who picks up his first for Louisville.
Lenny and Reggie.
Wisconsin, one of 4 Big Ten teams in the Sweet 16. One going here, Michigan State. One of the 3 top teams in the Big Ten. That game, by the way, is on CBS right now. The Orange and the Badgers. Nix is back in. Green, Thornton. Appling and Trice is in for the first time in the second half. Thought about 3.
Heard Seth Davis at halftime talking about someone else having to step up for Michigan State, that everyone's standing around watching Draymond Green try to do everything.
Green into Bohannon. Gets it to go. And before that, Michigan State had missed 5 consecutive shots.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Good spacing and having the ability and the desire to get the ball inside. That's going to give Michigan State some high percentage opportunities.
The 2 Smiths in. Here's the leading scorer, Kurek, for the season, but missing again. And picked up by Appling. Off to the races. Thornton. Appling into Bohannon. Rebound by Gordy Zhang, who has his 6th rebound.
Yeah, but everyone thinking that Zhang was coming over weak side.
Russ Smith into Bohannon. Nice feed by Russ Smith, who has really got his fingerprints on this contest.
Yeah, Russ Smith, again, outstanding one-on-one player, can break you down defensively, and you see the result. And a nice job by Bohannon with his footwork.
Zhang with the steal.
Speaking of footwork,
No kidding.
Great.
Wow.
That is great defensively right there. 3-quarter, you have your hand up, you have your backhand on the shoulder of on the lower back of the defender. That's textbook.
Zhang's got 3 steals so far for the Cardinals. Russ Smith. Green collects it. By the way, with Smith in the game, Louisville is plus 13 with him on the bench, -7. So the numbers even support that. And there is the ball off of Louisville as we take a look at our tournament summary with 13:46 to play here in the second half. We've got 3 matchups tonight between the Big Ten and the Big East.
well, I guess you're going to settle some arguments or some debates throughout the season as to which is the strongest conference. Here you got head-to-head matchups.
Tell you what, that Cincinnati, Ohio State, the battle within. I'm sure there's a lot of kids on that Cincinnati squad that probably didn't get any recruiting trips to Ohio State or Thad Mata calling, so I'm sure they got a little bit something to show.
Bohannon checks out. They bring in Swapshire. And Trice to Green. Payne is in the middle, and he tries to set a screen successfully on Swapshire. Opening the door. A rejection inside by Zhang. Out of bounds. 3rd block shot by Gordy Zhang.
Draymond Green, you just got Jenga. This is unbelievable what this kid is doing defensively out here for Louisville.
Well, it's the anticipation that really impresses me, reading the offense.
Oh, and an alley-oop to Siva with a great feed on the wing by Swapshire. It's the biggest lead for the Cardinals in a steal. Swapshire, Russ Smith. And a Michigan State foul with 13:05 to play in the second half.
You talk about getting caught by surprise. Nobody knew Siva had those kind of hops. But it seems to be coming apart at the seams, utilizing Zhang at the top, that screen, and getting the alley-oop. The little man playing big.
Appling picks up his 2nd personal.
Yeah, where's the communication on the back screen?
Watch every game on the road to the Final Four live on your computer, iPad, iPhone, or select Android phones with NCAA March Madness Live. Visit ncaa.com/March Madness for more information.
And not only do you not communicate on the back screen, but you're very lazy bringing the ball in, which created that turnover that Swapshire came up with.
Now some of that full court. Louisville's on a 6-0 run. Timeout taken. 12:57 to play. Number 1 down 35-25.
What? shocked.
You got a dog?
Yeah, he's a rescue dog.
1 seed in Syracuse and a #1 seed here in Phoenix as Michigan State throws it away on an inbounds pass. We just had a timeout taken right before that break.
Yeah, and that's a sad commentary. That timeout was a regain your poise timeout. As Tom Izzo wanted his guys to regroup. And right out of the timeout, they set up a play, and they can't even get the ball in bounds.
Reggie in this half, Louisville from the field, 5 of 10. Michigan State, 2 of 10.
Almost 27 minutes of ball game and only 25 points as there's an air ball there by Swapshire. Only 25 points for the Spartans.
And some of the numbers which accompany what has been a very low-scoring game for Big Ten Michigan State.
And on that last air ball, Rick Pitino exhorting Jared Swapshire to drive the ball, not to settle for the 3.
Points in the paint this half, Louisville 10-0. They hit the 3s in the first. They're getting it inside here in the second. 12.5 to play. Green with 9, losing the ball. Wood gets it back, and he's covered by Siva. And a foul called on Peyton Siva from Seattle, Washington. That's his second personal foul. So Brandon Wood will be at the free throw line, coming off a game against Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament final of 21 points. He kind of lost his love of basketball until he went to Valparaiso, and that's where Coach Homer Drew kind of rekindled his spirit after he began at Southern Illinois. Big coverage of Division I women's basketball. That tournament action at NCAA.com/Final Four.
See if Kyle Kierks can get going offensively. 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from downtown. Remember now, he's the leading scorer on this Cardinal team.
And they want him to stay aggressive.
And they certainly do. I think it all begins on the defensive end, though. And for Michigan State, they've got to cut down on the penetration. Siva on the baseline, you've seen him a number of times find some people. See, at the top, they're doing a better job of bottling him, but when he goes from the wing or the baseline, he gets into the paint and really creates problems for Michigan State.
Shot clock at 9. Siva with it. Mismatch against Payne. And a turnover right there for Peyton Siva. That is his 4th of the game. Green to Payne. What a throw.
That's why we call him the facilitator.
Timeout taken with 11:42 to play. Michigan State now down 35-29. 35-29 Louisville. Thank you, Greg.
They did it by the hairs on their chinny chin chin. I tell you what, Badgers presented all sorts of problems for Syracuse, but the Orange prevail.
Hey, what did Scoop Jardine tell us after that UNC Asheville? Doesn't matter if you win by half a point. We're moving on.
Got that right.
Shot clock down to 9. Siva picking and poking his way. Chris Smith outside works into the guard play. Siva from 3. Rebound by Draymond Green. He's got 12 rebounds. Look at the speed of Applin. Outside, Wood, the triple. Oh, slammed in by Green. Uncovered, untouched. He's got 11 points for the Spartans.
And how can that happen? The most dangerous guy in a white shirt, and no one blocks him off the board.
Michigan State is on a 6-0 run.
And now Michigan State is beating Louisville at their own game from the first half. Offensive rebounding and pushing the ball in transition.
Ball sticking a little bit there. Siva gets it out. Shot clock down to 9 again. Zhang tries to set a screen. Chris Smith. Shot clock at 4. Another screen by Zhang. Siva inside. And a nice play with a good pass. Bohannon gets it. He's got 8 points, 7 assists for Siva.
And for Louisville, it's good news. Every time Siva gets in the paint, he has created something positive for his team. And Michigan State cannot let up. They bottle him up at the beginning of the possession, but towards the end, they've given him freedom, and he's made him pay.
Louisville's been attacking that middle this second half. Payne knocked away. Zhang with another block shot. He's got 4.
We're talking about the man in the middle. Zhang has just been patrolling that paint.
This is Chris Smith with a 3. And Louisville is back to a 9-point lead. They've led by as many as 10. And Smith has got 9 for the Cardinals.
And as Brandon Wood, who is guarding Chris Smith, runs back, he just has his hands out in the air and says, what can I do?
Now steal, Chris Smith, couple defenders back, sliding in, Carrick! And Kyle Carrick has got 4.
What did we talk about, Louisville? Creating offense from your defense. And Chris Smith with the steal. And how about the nice dime pass to Carrick?
And a 6-0 run by Louisville. And a 6-0 run by Michigan State. Now a 7-0 run by the Cardinals. And look at the feistiness of Bohannon. Under 9 to play.
Well, that's a reflection of their coach, Rick Pitino. Full court frenetic pace.
Louisville right now with their biggest lead in the game of 11. Across the lane, Green knocked away by Zayne. 5 block shots. With a timeout. The speed is picking up and the defense remains. The Louisville Cardinals have found their stroke here in the second half. Now 50%, still 27% second half shooting for Michigan State.
Well, Michigan State still having trouble penetrating that Louisville defense. And the flip side of it, Louisville's bench has really come alive. You're talking about Jared Swatshire and Russ Smith in particular.
Trice is in. Nix has come in for Michigan State. Here is Siva.
And also you talk about Shane Bohannon, who had 0 points at the half. He's got 8 thus far. Been the beneficiary of nice penetration in addition to him down low.
In this postseason, Bohannon has played very well for Louisville. Shot clock is at 9. Chris Smith is defended by Wood. Knocked away with some nice defense right there by Brandon Wood.
That's good extension there by Wood to stay into the chest of Chris Smith.
8 to play. Statistically, 2 of the best defensive teams in college basketball. Green gets it from Thornton with a foul on Zhang, and a hard foul it is. Zhang picks up his 3rd timeout.
You guys are here, huh?
Guys have to step up. How about Zhang? 5 blocks. His career high is 7 versus Rutgers. A little over or just under 8 minutes left in this game, and the way Michigan State keeps attacking the lane, you may get that.
And all new Conan is a slam dunk. You don't want to miss it. Conan, all new Monday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central only on TBS. And just to finish up the note on Siva, 8 assists. So he is passing the ball, but he has turned it over 4 times.
Still a 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio.
You would take it. You would take it.
Yeah, I would definitely take it because he's creating opportunities for the guys we just mentioned.
Siva tonight has 2 points. 1 of 7. Nix is working on Zhang. Green awaits in the middle. Shot clock is down to 9 for Siva. And they're running down that clock, and Trice is following. Zhang free to fire. Bohannon, 10 second half points for the freshman Bohannon from Cincinnati.
Boy, that hard shot just got Draymond Green off balance. And Shane Bohannon there to clean it up.
Sometimes it's better to be in the right place at the right time if you're Bohannon.
Louisville on a 9-0 run, answering the 6-0 run by Michigan State. They got it back, did the Spartans, to a 35-31 reach.
Yeah, when you're down 11, you're taking a lot of time off this clock, Lynn, when you need points, and no one's really scoring for you.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the Louisville defense. Look at the shot they wind up with. As Louisville is just taking away everything Michigan State wants to do.
How about that? Your outlet goes to your power forward, and Chase Bohannon. Talked about those 3 triple-doubles in high school. He really handled the basketball for his size.
Siva with it again, single digits on the shot clock. And Siva puts it down. He is 2 of 8, and he's just given the Cardinals their biggest lead tonight.
Yeah, that was just totally methodical right there. Run some clock, be able to move the ball, and your point guard, when the shot clock's under 10, creates for himself as well as he can create for others.
And Wood puts in a three. He was wide open. He's got 9 for Izzo's Spartans.
Well, if any time you needed a three, it was right there. Brandon Wood with a nice screen there by Draymond Green to free him up.
And I would expect Michigan State to extend the defense. Louisville just stood out there waiting for him until Wood began to be more assertive.
Siva trying to take it inside every time he looks to find his way in there. He finds a roadblock. Finds Bohannon. Shot clock at 3. Green, nice defense. Kurek with a 3. And that was an air ball. Did not hit the rim. Shot clock violation.
Well, the freshman Shane Bohannon, he is a monster down low. Terrific hands. Gets himself in terrific position. And the penetration of Peyton Siva and others have really benefited Shane Bohannon.
Michigan State has 1 field goal in the last 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Against a Louisville team that played last week in Portland, did not go back to Louisville. They stayed on the coast, flew down to Phoenix, have been here all week, and they said they have had a chance to prepare like for no other game this season. All the time and no distractions. Here comes Wood trying to work his way and does successfully on that baseline.
Yeah, huge 5 points here for Brandon Wood. Didn't settle for the jump shot after knocking down that previous 3. Now you get this down to single digits.
One thing about Wood's drive, he got past Jang, and then he knew he was home free.
Siva picked up by Appling. Siva, 16-footer. Green with another rebound. He's collected at 13 for the Spartans.
Oh, nice.
Look at the big man dribble. Keeping his balance. Wood. Swapshire comes in and defends, and Nix now goes up against Jang. Another block. He's got 6. He is indeed playing handball tonight. Knocking one shot by Michigan State away after another.
And Derek Nix needs to learn how to use that big body. Made a nice move, but then he laid the ball right out there for Jang to see instead of putting his body between Jang and the ball.
Wood just picked up his 2nd personal foul. Here comes Payne. There goes Nix.
What a luxury it is to have Jang down low. And if you're Rick Pitino, you don't need to double. You don't need to send help. You allow the 6'11" Jang to patrol the paint.
Yeah, he's a bigger racer. You can make some mistakes on the perimeter.
Oh, yeah.
Swapshire checks out. And Shane Bohannon checks back in. You just saw Rick Pitino. Lenny made a note of this earlier in the game. He is 9-0 in Sweet 16 games.
And that just shows the adeptness at preparation. You know, Tom Izzo 7-2.
Sure.
You have enough time, you can attack.
Pretty good.
Gus Smith taking the place of Siva, who just checked out. The drive and out of bounds it goes. And 3:46 to play. Michigan State trailing 46-38 here in the West region. You take a look at our game reset. Louisville with 2 timeouts and Michigan State with 3.
Well, Michigan State's got to recognize, again, they've got to make stops and string them together. You know, you can't sit here and trade baskets with Louisville. And Louisville's going to continue to try to shave time off the clock. Try to go with 10 seconds because they've got the consummate creator in Peyton Siva.
Wood's been fantastic over the last 2 or 3 minutes. 5 quick points with Draymond Green, but where's Kevin Appling? They're going to need some points from Appling.
Appling's got 5. Each team with a foul to give, as you just saw. There's a foul right there. It goes on Kyle Kurek. A little shove. Kurek picks up his first personal foul.
Well, Gorgie Jang makes his presence felt down low. Not only has he blocked 6 shots, he's altered a number of others. And again, that's really made it difficult on Michigan State to get the high percentage shots. Hence, they're shooting 29% from the field.
Appling working on Siva. Russ Smith comes up on Green with the shove. He knocked the ball away, and that is a foul.
And that's the problem when you put a smaller defender in front of a 6'7", 6'8" frame. You just get right into the chest. He brings the ball right into the wheelhouse of Smith, who comes up with the steal.
The frustration there by the senior Draymond Green. That is his first personal foul.
Now Michigan State extends the pressure.
Well, that was a lost possession. You can't afford those. when you're trying to come back.
You're right. Bohannon over Payne with a little hesitation. He finds it going down. Shane Bohannon has put in 12 second-half points for the Cardinals.
I'll tell you what, Louisville persisting in the pressure. They realize that pressure is giving Michigan State a lot of problems. Again, spread the floor. You got to look for your big fellas inside and then play off of that. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Just tied his career high in blocks.
The only thing I don't like about it is look how high he gets up. He can control that ball.
No, come
Kick
on,
it the other way, man.
He can't control
Sure
that
he could.
one.
Sure he could.
Jang, the #1 shot blocker in the Big East, #8 in all of college basketball. He broke the single-season record. Here is Wood with a three, much needed by the Spartans, and a timeout for Michigan State. Wood has got 14, and the Spartans down by 7.
Themselves offensively, Louisville's ball. Michigan State's got to extend the defense. Full court pressure.
Oh, there's a lot of time left here, but you got to be solid defensively. No silly fouls here.
And no easy opportunities for Louisville if they want to attack your pressure. This is pretty good right here.
Here comes Siva. Rush Smith gets by the time. Boy, he sure did. Off to Bohannon, who is cocked and ready to throw it down with a foul called on the Spartans. 2:45 to play. And the foul goes on Thornton for the 3rd time for Michigan State.
Sometimes that's the problem when you bring pressure. It allows that last line of defense, which is your normally guards. You had Payne out extending on the defense. Who was patrolling the lane in the back? It was Thornton who came up with the foul.
And I like what Louisville did, attacking that pressure instead of pulling it back out, trying to run clock.
And a 59% free throw shooter. Winner here will advance to the Elite Eight, and they'll take on the winner of Marquette and Florida coming up next here in downtown Phoenix.
And if the deficit for Michigan State stands and Marquette wins that game, you got an opportunity to see 2 Big East teams.
Trip. Russ Smith picks up the foul, his second.
And if it does come down to Louisville against Marquette, Louisville's won both times that they've met. So that could make for a very interesting regional final here.
At the free throw line, Appling, who is 2 of 2, and should Florida win that game, he would take on a guy that he coached,
mentored
at Providence, mentored exactly at Kentucky, and winding his way through his head coaching career, Billy Donovan.
You're Rick Pitino. That was the last thing you wanted to see happen. Not only do you stop the clock and allow Michigan State to set up defensively that full court pressure, it's putting points on the board.
Michigan State's been perfect from the free throw line tonight, 11 of 11. Sophomore Keith Appling at the line.
Actually, the line is what's kept Michigan State in this ball game as poorly as they've shot.
There's a foul on this 10-3 Spartan run. 2:38 to play.
You don't need the foul right now. 2:38 left. Trust your defense. Understanding you missed the free throw here, but there's still a lot of time left here, and that's an easy call.
Green picks up his second personal for the Spartans.
But the one thing to say, if you're going to extend the game, extend the game. You know, you don't mess around. And, you know, you take a look at Shane Bohannon, 59% free throw shooter. So if you got an opportunity to get the poor free throw shooters, put them on the line to Michigan State, you have an opportunity to extend the game, hope for some misses, and come down and counter.
On the season, Louisville shooting 69% as a team.
1 of 4 free throw shooting. Russ Smith got in there and puts it back up in a big basket. He's got 10.
And that's what you call backfire. You get a poor free throw shooter on the line. That's your strategy. He misses, but you're not able not only to get the rebound, you allow Louisville to score. That plan backfired on Michigan State.
Brandon Wood with the 3. Rebound Bohannon. And held as he was flying up court by Austin Thornton.
And then this can't happen.
Absolutely not.
On a free throw. If you're Draymond Green and Payne, it can't happen. You are two of the best rebounders, bigs in all of college basketball, and you see the reaction there by Smith.
Well, once Draymond Green lost contact with his man in the designated spaces, he's got to go straight to the ball. He can't worry about that guy anymore, and he never did, and allowed Smith just to sneak in there.
Bohannon is 1 of 4 from the free throw line.
That's what he should have done the last time, go straight for the ball instead of worry about the guy he's supposed to block out.
Another turnover. Russ Smith with bodies all over the place. Huge collision with Green and others at midcourt. Gorgie Jang is down there. Foul goes on Green for the 3rd time for Michigan State.
This is close to being an offensive foul here. Bohannon comes up with the steal there. Draymond Green is trying to just kind of jump in the bottom. It looked like he was still moving there.
Yeah, he might have leaned a little bit. That's pretty close, though. But the error,
well, isn't it?
At the high post by not being ready.
Why is Jing at the free throw line? I thought the foul was on Bohannon.
Good catch. I don't think Michigan State caught it either, although Jang missed it. Jang's a little bit better free throw shooter at 67% than Bohannon.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And now I think the officials are going to go
look at it
and try to
that
correct
certainly
it.
Was Bohannon who should be at the free throw line.
Because Jang came in as almost a second wave.
Right.
Yeah, it was initially Bohannon.
But heck, I wouldn't try to nullify the miss.
A lot of Final Four experience in our 3 officials here tonight. We have a region here in the West of heavyweight coaches. Both Izzo along with Pitino have won national championships, multiple Final Four appearances by all. As you can see what happened here. Green getting in the way of Bohannon, and then in back of Bohannon was Gorgie Jang. As he again speaks to his team. 2:05 to play here in the second half. John Adams, the director of officiating, is sitting right in back of us, and he's been a great resource tonight as we've had a chance to visit with him.
They got him.
So now they're going to put Bohannon up there.
But what's funny is you have Jane going to the free throw line, and he's not that much better than I could see if it had been,
well, he's a 67% shooter, but he missed. And now he gets 2 shots. So that miss was nullified.
Right. So if you're Tom Izzo, you're like, wait a minute, you're going to give them 3 free throws? Yeah, Bohannon is 59% on the season. And Jang is shooting 63 or 67%.
But the key right now for this game is not necessarily percentages.
Now remember, Jang had already gone to the free throw line and missed the first.
And now, right, they corrected it. He gets 2 shots.
It is a correctable situation, so he does get the 2 shots. And Bohannon is back up there for the Cardinals. And again, 2:05 to play.
Wow.
Right. So he has a chance now if he makes this one. Really, it's 3-2. This is the old NBA rule. 3 to make 2, huh?
Thornton had picked up his 4th personal foul, and that will trickle in. How about that? How about that? And Travis Trice bring it the other way. He led all freshmen in the Big Ten in three-point shooting. We're going to need some of that firepower right now. Wood, a 3. Bohannon comes out with the close and an air ball.
Now this is when you start to think about fouling if you're Tom Izzo to extend the game.
Well, they thought about it earlier. Every time Bohannon got the ball, they fouled him.
Well, where's Bohannon going now? To the bench. You bring in Chris Smith, another shooter for the Cardinals.
Russell Bird will check in, taking the place of Brandon Wood for the Spartans.
Well, they've got the good free throw shooters in right now.
Green diving at the elusive Russ Smith. 4th on Draymond Green. 1:47 to play.
That's Green's 4th foul.
Louisville in the double bonus, so now they're going to get 2 shots.
Pitino told us yesterday he was the best one-on-one player on our team, Smith, and he is fearless. We mentioned it back in the first half. He will take it into the most congested lane, and he is not afraid to take the biggest of shots.
Oh, no, he has no qualms in going wherever he needs to get that ball off. As we say, never met a shot he didn't like.
And more importantly, he is the second best free throw shooter on this Cardinal team.
But that kind of mentality has been valuable for Louisville as he's created opportunities in this game, openings that everybody exploited.
Bird with a three. Kurek digs it out, gets it off to Siva. 1:30 to play.
With Pitino heading for a 10-0 record in Sweet 16s. And again, you got to give him and his staff a great deal of credit in the way they attack Michigan State.
Siva, Kurek for three. 8-0 run by the Cardinals.
Nailed in the coffin.
They've got their biggest lead. Draymond Green with the miss. Rebound collected by Knicks. Back to Green. Another triple. Another miss. Zayne is the one to have it. And to think about a month ago, no one would have had Louisville in this particular position. But a run through the Big East, 4 wins in 4 days. Right now circling over the 3rd consecutive win in the NCAA tournament and looking at the Elite Eight.
Well, right now you can say at least they're reading the page that UConn left from last year. They may not be taking the cue, but certainly they're reading it. They're getting close.
It's the other way, 27.8. Quick timeout taken. And Knicks has got 4.
And I think Tom Izzo recognizes that this game is over as he starts to empty his bench. Gets Draymond Green a standing ovation by substituting for him.
Absolutely. This kid has played his heart out for the Spartans. Magic Johnson rises and shows appreciation to the Big Ten Player of the Year, Draymond Green.
Mary Babers, the mom of Draymond Green. And he leaves with a storied career. And this is the side that is so hard to watch for the tournament. And then on the other side, the elation of the Louisville Cardinals. Rick Pitino has gone 10-0 in Sweet 16 games. The #1 seeded Spartans fall. Pitino and the Cardinals win it 57-44. What a run they have had.
Well, they certainly have. Again, very confident. When you take a look at this score, they maintain the pace.
As our bracket now beginning to firm up, Louisville is advanced. They'll take on the winner of Marquette and Florida coming up in about a half hour. For Reggie Miller, Len Elmore, and Marty Schneider, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Phoenix. Tune into CBS for Ohio State, Cincinnati. Coming up next on TBS, Marquette and Florida. We're going to send you to our studio after these messages.